Hello friends! Few days ago, I shared a flyer with a quote from Dhor K I found when correcting the transcripts on the website. When asked about his work to do with our planet, Dhor K responds,
"My work is the same as Svaru's. Prepare the population for the total withdrawal of the Matrix. I want the same as Svaru, to prepare you so that you no longer depend on external guides. To prepare you to understand that it is you yourself you long to find, spiritually."
It made me think, or rather feel, something that I want to share with you today. And even though what I will say is not new, the way Dhor's words resonated together, those specific sentences next to each other, rang a deep revelation for me. The clarity about what he said dawned on me through a different angle. Withdrawal of the Matrix, not dependence on the external guides, us being the ones we spiritually yearn to meet. How does it connect? Stay till the end as I spontaneously develop my thoughts as I write this. What would you usually feel when you hear someone is working on the withdrawal of the Matrix? What do you imagine that is? I don't know about all of you, but I'm sure there will be many who interpret that part as him doing something to remove the cabal and all the corruption from Earth in some great, accessible to the ETs only way, for which we can be nothing but grateful as we await being taken to the promised land with Matrix finally withdrawn. However, and not taking away credit for any specific actions surely taken by the positive ET people on their part, if you pay closer attention to what is being said here, it is the preparing the population for the withdrawal of the Matrix and not depending on external guidance, being us the ones we have been waiting for. Is that the key? Stay with me as I ponder this. Withdrawal of the Matrix means many different things, but in this context, it is clear to me that it is rising to the autonomous position of standing on our own feet, depending on ourselves and no one else for ultimate guidance and authority. What characterizes the Matrix is not only numerous false ideas and mental limitations, cabal manipulations and ill intentions, but also constant dependence on authorities for guidance, knowledge, and recognition. It is also very clear to me that as long as we cling to that mentality, Matrix cannot fully withdraw, as what makes Matrix the Matrix is precisely looking to others as our superiors. And that, my friends, applies also, but especially in this case, to the people beyond Earth, and our perception of them as our superiors, be it intellectually, mentally, technologically, or even spiritually. As long as we continue to view ourselves beneath and not equals, as long as we continue to view this as us versus them, the Matrix as we know it cannot really withdraw, maybe only parts of it, as the withdrawal of the Matrix, the way I see it, would be a type of society where we can blend our world with that of theirs, together, and not ever looking up. What defines our Earth Matrix is the dualism of us, poor, uneducated, inferior humans, versus ETs, for sure mighty advanced in all aspects of life. This is not the mentality we should be feeding if the Matrix is to ever withdraw. And we may not be fully ready for it yet as a society, as some type of guidance might still be required, but it is definitely something we should strive towards. And us, more aware humans, starseeds, even more so. And no, we may not have all the technological understanding of how the starships work. It will be great to relearn that. But spiritually, we are all there. Inside, we are it. We do not lack anything. And we all have what the ET positive people possess, some of us even more. And that is connection to source, to insights, quantic perceptions, to higher ethics and respect for life. And we must stand in our core and acknowledge that, own it, to fully comprehend we are the ones we need, as it is us, stellar Earth humans, who represent the ones we have been conditioned to wait for. We have been mind-trapped over and over throughout the history to always wait for someone else to assist us with our condition. The separation of the ego I from the greater cosmic I, the stellar self, our cosmic roots, has placed us in a perceived but illusory position that seems inferior and always in contrast to someone else, an authority, religious figure, someone above who always seems to know more than us. This separation has been seeded on Earth millennia ago and has to do with the very beginnings of Matrix on Earth, lunar technologies veiling our reality, ongoing manipulations, genetic but mainly mental, to keep us isolated and feeling less. You must understand the separation is artificial, false, not based on anything to do with the real nature of who we are. It is all imposed lies. It is that separation from the cosmic roots, I believe, that has prevailed to instill in us versus them mentality, that, yet again, has created a distorted view of what the ET people really are and who they are. The facts are, they are simply us we have forgotten. Our souls have been yearning, and that is true. But in that yearning for the stellar connection, for the stellar, as we call them, families, it is really us we are yearning to find again, to awaken, to reconnect with. We yearn to remember our ET selves. We tend to idealize the ET people not for who they are in themselves, but of who they remind us, and that is ourselves. And here comes the importance of all of us, starseeds, in this ongoing process of awakening the planet towards the better timelines. No more looking up to the ET people as superior beings. No more downplaying our own inner perceptions and insights. No more us versus them. No more drooling over anyone from outside Earth. Believe me, and don't be offended, their butts smell just as ours. They pick their noses, quarrel, and get into plenty of trouble. They are simply here to remind us, nudge us, that there is more and that you are more, but not have us fall on our knees yet again. How tiring, how frustrating that must be from their position. And I am referring to the positive ET people. Their presence and information is to have us recall, have us remember, even if, in the beginning, it is only that it is indeed us we have forgotten. This is what I perceive is happening. We all have come incarnating into this planet as cosmic souls, ET people ourselves. But in the process, we have downloaded, so to speak, deep and artificially engineered attitudes of the collective unconscious, cemented throughout millennia, and that is the separation, the schism, the cutting off of what is stellar beyond, cosmic, and delegating all that to beings on the outside, mythical, etheric, superior, unreachable. We have fallen into the trap of the illusory separation, primarily mental and imposed. The facts are, and as the saying out there goes, we are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the ones that made its way to incarnate on this planet, to be the bridge, to be the disclosure, by owning first who we are. It is us that paved the way. And as we do, we go on normalizing the subject, not from the ongoing, still prevalent attitude of hyper-admiration, as this way we are falling into the same old conditioned patterns and harming the subject, but becoming that we are longing to reconnect with. If we continue to see us versus them, we are not going to fulfill one of the roles we came to play. For us to stand as the disclosure wave for the transforming world, and as the counterbalancing force to the artificial disclosures the governments and whoever operates through them want to orchestrate. We are the leveling force, the ones from above we seek to hear from, and we must be the seeds of the holistic societies for planetary transformation. Our job is not to perpetuate ancient patterns of separation, but ignite this planet, leveling the ground, breaking what has been imposed, preparing the population, as Dhor K said, for the withdrawal of the matrix and the veil they have been living under. The starseeds incarnating massively on Earth will fail as the overall mission, I believe, if we let ourselves be steered by the New Age and CIA tactics to have us lured into the same old, let's worship someone strategies. Pretty clever, I must say. Let's take advantage they don't remember, that they remember something unconsciously, and have them fall into the orchestrated for millennia us versus higher power and higher beings control mechanisms. Perfect way to trap the starseeds and divert their role. After all, we incarnated as humans and adopted many human conscious and unconscious ways. We knew the risks. But what I want to say now is, chop chop, my friends. No more sleeping. Playing the human is over, don't you think? You already know you are more. If we do not own who we are, who we truly are, it will serve very little for the matrix to withdraw as some sort of external cleanup, even if there was one. We will end up, yet again, as servants, worshippers of those who did that kind of a job. And what could be worse, we could end up manipulated again if the intentions behind that group were not pure. Back to the matrix, we would let this race fall. A war over humans and the human mind continues to be waged, as it always has. Awaken, ET souls, own who you are and stand in your cosmic core. What you recognize and acknowledge within yourself is what you allow to emerge. That is key. And as it does, you will begin to remember more, awaken more, bring more and more of stellar you into this planet and even others, as what we do here affects there too. The more conscious you are of who you are, the more of who you are you will manifest. And as the awareness of yourself increases, so does the expression of that self. Do not just wait for ET people to show up in their glory as if it was them it all depended on. It actually kinda does. And it starts with the ET you. So greet yourself today to the planet, if you haven't done so already, and say, welcome Monica, welcome Pablo, Welcome to Earth, and thanks for choosing to be here at this time. It's mighty great what you came to do. The Earth is honored to have you. And then add, I have arrived.